Justin with TAC 2 Weapons here for the Second Amendment, back with the first version, commando Mark45 on the reassembly of this. So what I'm going to start by doing is, just like the one previous, is I'm going to take my receiver upper and go ahead and put the firing pin and the firing pin spring back in it first. Or you could do it this way, of course. Start by holding it with the two ears like this. You just hold that just like that. Take our firing pin spring, slide it down through to where it's on that guide rod. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to slide that part here back off. Okay, we're going to set that down. We're going to take the firing pin and drop it in. The ear that's sticking off goes into this track. So we're going to drop it straight down in. Just like that. Okay, when we're putting this back together, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the bolt in it and put the bolt handle back on. I'm going to put my thumb down in here so I can catch the bolt when it comes down. Take our bolt handle and then drop it all the way down in. So I'm going to go ahead and set this all the way up and hold it like this up underneath of the light so I can look down inside. You can see that recessed groove on the back of the bolt. So I'm going to take the two ears that's on the back and line it up with the two notch grooves in the square on the back of the gun. And I'm going to push down on that to get the spring started and just stand it straight up and let the bolt back down while I'm putting pressure on that. And make sure all them ears is lined up with all four corners of the receiver. And it goes right back like that. And you can go like that and cock it back and forth with your finger being held down on this one. Because this one don't have a whole lot of tension on this back plate compared to that one. The big hole goes towards your rear sight. The little hole goes towards the bottom of the gun, towards the stock. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this aluminum block down in here, and then just, like I said, that is due to the tension on that. So we're going to play around with this again here. And then look down inside, because you can look in this little seam going down through and see that guide rod. Lucky I caught it just in the nick of time. Okay, here we go again, guys. Okay, we're going to hold down on that and take our block again. We're going to try this for the second time. You got to do this quick. Okay, that was easier. So I'm going to hold down on that. Take our rear sight and line up my pencil mark here, here with the circle that's here, and both sides. And make sure we get that set right on there where we want it. But you can see what I mean by the tension of that recoil spring. It is stout. That's why I aimed it towards the wall when it started pushing back on me, because I didn't want that stuff to go flying back out there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten that. And then just torque it loose for 1 second. Line up that rear sight. And you can even probably go by the previous scratch on the rear sight, long as that's the same one that's been on there since the gun, well, before you took it apart. So that's pretty much lined up. I'm going to hold my finger down here so I'm torquing, because it's going to push it this way, trying to tighten it. So I'm going to go torque it with this best I can, and then take the Allen wrench, stick it on, and go over it again, just to make sure, because you don't want that back and loose with vibrations and everything with the gun firing. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and cock it and pull out on our handle. Okay, that's ready. Now we're going to take our feed ramp, slide it down into here first, just like this, and we're going to start pushing forward, and then see how it's separated. We're going to close that and then push this way down towards the front end of the gun. So what that does is it lines up everything with the bolt being pulled back. So when you go to put the screw back in, and after you've done that, you can perform a function test after you put your big top head flathead screw back in. And we're going to go ahead and torque this down. But these guns are pretty simple. That's the only trouble with the recoil spring and all that, is just trying to put it back in. I mean, you can use the corner of the desk to try and put it back together, but it seemed like it was harder for me to do it that way, because I had to put my finger there with the rear spring, so it's easier for me to have it with my finger there and try and do it that way. But both of them is about the same, putting them back together, but this one had the back plate on top of the spring, and that's why it made it more difficult. The oil that is inside both guns is Remington Rim Lube. We have it in spray, and we use the oil itself, and just put a light coating on there, rub it on with your finger, and then take a rag and just go over, and it will leave the film on there, and it's not overly oiled, so the gun will function a heck of a lot easier compared to most oils being slimy. Go ahead and let it go forward, perform the function test, and just do it again for one more time. Works good. So we're going to go ahead and put our rear stock back on, and that's pretty much the assemble of both of these guns. And I will put these in part 1, part 2 of version 1, version 2. So I'll do that also. So it makes it easier for you guys to find each one. Okay? When you're putting this gun back together, like I said in the previous video, only thing you gotta really do is set this down on there. So you can do it this way, and just make sure your screws don't come out of the bottom. It's just, you can slide it, and then you're just going to have to try and go like this, which is the easy way, or just take the front end, and you got how it's real wide here, just go about halfway where this thing here is, this recessed groove, and it'll drop straight down in, just like that. So there's two different ways you can do that if you have trouble doing it. Then we're going to tighten both of these back up with our number 4 Phillips head screwdriver. And before I let you guys go, I'll show you guys something else here between these two guns. I'll just use this one because both of them are the same when it comes to this. I ain't gonna take it loose or nothing, but you can if you want and do it to yours. But this thing does have an adjustable muzzle brake. What I mean adjustable is you can make it look like the Tommy gun, or you can make it stay this way. The holes on your muzzle brake are cut out. You have this one here has 2 screws on it. You can take them 2 screws and you can adjust this muzzle out to where the end of the barrel is set in here. You could do it that way, or you can just leave it just the way it is. Which we just left it the way it is because there ain't no recoil on it. But it does make it probably look cool when you're shooting it in the dark. But I thought I'd share that with you guys if you guys didn't know. But you can take that muzzle brake and adjust it forward and you can make it actually work. Or just leave it the way it is. But both of them are pretty much the same when it comes to that. This was the first one bought because you can see it's more wore down and pretty much a little bit more broken in. And then with the second one, it's starting to get some wear, but it's a little bit more stiffer. The recoil springs due to that, but that's pretty much the difference between the two, except for the wood color. This one here is more of a reddish tint. This is more of a darker tint. But thought I'd share that with you guys. Thank you for watching. And if you guys have any other how-to videos you guys want to see on any of the previous guns we've had on here in the past, stay tuned for that. We'll have more gun videos coming up. I just gotta get some projects out of the way for you guys. I found some time today to do it. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. And stay tuned.